Hello everyone. Welcome into our Wednesday regular meetup, our little support session here. My name's Craig Beck from stopdrinkingexpert.com. My job is to help problem drinkers around the world to escape that miserable loop of alcohol addiction. If you are interested in taking my class, you can get full details at my website, stopdrinkingexpert.com. Now, heads up. I am in a weird mood. I am in a little bit freaked out and a little bit distracted today for various reasons. The first one being this here. Just to let you know, very unprofessional, I know, but life kind of insists sometimes. One of my dogs, we have 4 rescue dogs. One of the dogs is ill, and I'm waiting on the vet to call, and he will be asking permission to do an operation. So if you don't mind, I might just have to mute my mic or pause my camera or something if the phone rings. It might not, but I'm just letting you know if it does. I haven't gone anywhere. I just need to take that call. So sorry. The other thing, something happened today. As you know, I'm into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. Something happened today that's been really traumatic for a lot of people. Thousands and thousands of people around the world lost their entire life savings in the last 6-7 hours. And I'm hearing, I've been watching Twitter all day. It's been like watching a slow car crash. Apparently thousands of people have killed themselves today over this. It's quite distressing. You know, suicide has touched my life and it's just a horrible thing. It's a terrible thing. And if you're ever in that situation where you're considering that, please reach out and speak to someone, because let me tell you something for sure. As much as you think that it might help or that nobody wants you or anything like that, suicide just takes all of your pain and gives it to the people you love. It's just a terrible, awful thing. This cryptocurrency called Terra USD crashed today. It was supposed to be pegged at $1. It was supposed to be set so it couldn't go below $1. So a lot of people around the world, hardworking people, put their life savings into this because it was paying 18% interest. And they felt safe because they were told it's impossible. It can't go below $1. Your money is safe. It crashed today. And people have lost everything. People are absolutely devastated. And it's so traumatic to watch. And you might be thinking, well, why are you bringing this up on an alcohol channel, Craig? It's because, you know, alcoholism, problem drinking for me, it's not really about the drug. It's not really about the addiction. It's a mental health issue. You know, it's a very unique addiction because, like I always say, you know, when people come to me with problem drinking issues, the alcohol's not the problem. It's always a symptom of a bigger problem. We use alcohol because we can't cope with reality. Life sucks too hard and we look for an easy way out. And then the evil clown comes along and says, I can help you out here, buddy. Just drink me and you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to feel this pain. And it appears that alcohol is our friend. And the marketing, you know, the drinks companies continue to peddle this message that alcohol is your friend. Welcome alcohol into your life and you will be more sociable. You'll be more happy. You'll be more friendly. You'll be more relaxed. You'll be more eloquent, and so on and so on and so on. And it's just, it strikes me as insane that of the thousands of people who killed themselves today because they lost everything, at least 30% of them will have been pushed over the edge by alcohol. In a lot of cases, the difference between doing it and not doing it is alcohol. What sort of friend is that? Would you invite a friend to your house who you knew was going to come over and try and persuade you to kill yourself? It just makes me so angry. That please like this video and share this video, because we have to get the message out there to counteract the marketing of the drinks manufacturers that keep on saying that alcohol's just this harmless social pleasantry, that it's your friend. It's not your friend. You're 120 times more likely to kill yourself if you have a drinking problem. 120 times. You know, 30% of suicide victims in the United States had alcohol in their system. It is the thing that pushes you over the edge. And we've got to stop this constant message from the drinks manufacturers that it's harmless. And this stupid defense that they have. Well, if you drink it in moderation, then it's fine. But we can't drink it in moderation. So saying that is pointless, isn't it? So anyway, that's kind of my rant over with. I'll hope you forgive me for it. It's just I've watched a lot of trauma on Twitter today, and it just hurts me to know that so many people are going through a tough time, and it's so much worse than it needs to be because the evil clown is going, aha, got him. How many people were, happily sober and fell off the wagon today because of this? It's just... Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Otherwise, I'll have no one watching because they'll think, what a moany old git. Ellie, good morning from sunny Florida. Fantastic. Larry is here. Larry Flessett. Diane Bainbridge from Palm Springs. 1 month in, feeling good. Diane, you're bringing the positivity. It's your job to lift me today, and you're doing a great job. Thank you. El Ali, yay. Hello, Craig. Welcome. Mick is here. Hi, Mick. Welcome. You bought any more bikes, Mick, or is it just the 7 you've got now? Ronnie's so sorry to hear that your dog is ill. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He might need an operation. So I'm just waiting to give consent for that. Michael is here. Hi, Beck from Greensboro. Beck. I haven't been called Beck since I was on the radio. I was just called Beck when I was on the radio. Aletha Kate, so sorry to hear about your pup and the crypto crash. Yeah, I mean, thankfully I didn't own any of this crypto, Aletha, but it's just shocking to see it's hurt so many people today. John, afternoon. Welcome, John. By the way, if you have any questions, this is the usual AMA. You can ask me anything, any challenging situations coming up for you, any problems. Are you just at the start of this journey? Are you questioning whether you should stop drinking or not? Fire away. I'll do my best to give you a half-decent answer. Also, if you're sober and celebrating, maybe you're 1 month sober, 3 months, 3 years, whatever, give yourself a big shout out and we'll give you a round of applause. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it today. Doesn't even have to be about alcohol. Totally up to you. Trish is here. Good morning, Trish. She says, good morning, Craig and friends. 97 days and counting from Florida, thanks to you. How come is it that I could drink 24 beers at a time, but with alcohol-free drinks, I bore after just one and switch drinks constantly? Isn't it strange that you can sit in a pub and drink 10 pints of liquid and nobody questions it? Nobody thinks that's weird. Have you noticed that? Nobody ever stops to question that, do they? I mean, I live in Cyprus. I live in a hot country where it gets to 45 degrees, like over 100 degrees in the summer. Even if I'd been walking in the sun all day and I managed to find a bar and I crawled up to the bar and ordered myself a pint of orange juice, I'd probably drink really quickly. I might even have a second pint of orange juice. But if I carried on drinking pint after pint of orange juice and had 10 pints of orange juice, wouldn't you think there was something wrong with me? Wouldn't you think that I needed to be seen by a doctor or something? And yet you can go to the same bar and look around and see dozens of other people doing exactly the same thing and nobody says anything. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't that be strange if I came into work the next day and went, oh, what a night I had. I had 10 pints of orange juice last night. Wouldn't you be thinking, why? Are you okay? It's a funny drug, this, isn't it? Trish, the reason you get bored is because the soft drinks, the alcohol-free drinks that you're drinking, don't have a mild anesthetic in them. They don't interfere with your brain chemistry. Because one of the first things that alcohol does is the internet playing up. Let me switch that off and see if that improves it. And we'll turn that off as well. And that off as well. And hopefully that'll make it better. Let's close that. Fingers crossed. So one of the first things that alcohol does is it interferes with your satiety control. So it switches off that part of your brain that says, okay, stop now, you've had enough. It switches off your satiety control for food and liquids. That's why you can have a 3-course meal, continue drinking, and then a couple of hours later you send out for McDonald's. So it interferes with your mind, with your central nervous system. So you no longer understand the signals from your body. When you're drinking soda and alcohol-free, you don't have that problem. Nothing's interfering with your brain, so that's why. Like I said right at the start, this is a mental health thing as well, because alcohol is very different to another addiction, like tobacco, cigarettes, for example. People don't smoke cigarettes to escape reality. People don't smoke cigarettes because they had trauma in childhood or because they're in an abusive relationship. They smoke cigarettes because they're addicted to nicotine. They were introduced to nicotine at a young age, probably peer pressure, probably trying to show off, that sort of stuff. And they smoked it until they got physically addicted to the drug. And now when they don't smoke, the dopamine receptors in their brain go crazy and they feel anxious and jittery and they want to smoke a cigarette. But when they smoke, it doesn't change their mental state. So it's a very different addiction. We drink alcohol to escape reality because it interferes with our brain. And this is why you should hate alcohol, because alcohol lies to you all the way. Every time you're in a mess, every time you're in a bad place, alcohol's there to say, hey, I'll make it better. And it doesn't. It makes it worse. So not only is it not your friend, it's worse than an enemy. It continually tries to trip you up. It's pure evil in a bottle. And the sooner you get into that mindset, the sooner you'll start to view alcohol with a different light. You'll see it differently. You'll no longer think, oh, wish I could have a beer. Wish I could have a glass of champagne. You'll look at it with contempt. You will hate it. That's the goal. That's where you need to be getting to. Who did I miss who was celebrating? Somebody was celebrating. Let's have a look. There's Hector. Hector, 40 days alcohol-free. Excellent. Well done, Hector. James is in New York. Let's have a look. Who else we got here? Brad. It's funny how the Hollywood... Oh, let me just talk to the vet. I'll be 30 seconds, I promise. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh my God, what a day. Yeah, that was the vet. So I've just given consent for him to proceed with the operation. So that will be tomorrow. Okay. Brad, it's funny how the Hollywood movies portray problem drinkers as skinny. In reality, most people are fat. So people think that they're too fat to be a problem drinker. Exactly. Exactly, Brad. You're very good at this, Brad. You have some good observations. That whole Hollywood portrayal of the alcoholic is, it kept me in the loop for probably a couple of years, because in my head, I had this picture of what an alcoholic looked like. What does an alcoholic look like? Well, like you said, they're skinny, they're disheveled, they're unkempt, they're unwashed. They can't hold down a job. They can't have a relationship. They can't have a home. They sit on a park bench, swigging out of a brown paper bag. They don't turn up to work. They're always getting DUIs. They're always in drunk tanks. And I used to sit thinking, well, I'm married. I've got a nice home. I'm not skinny. I'm overweight. I've never had a DUI. I've never been arrested in my life. And I went through this Hollywood list and went, well, that confirms it. I can't be an alcoholic. And that BS I'd say it kept me drinking for maybe 2 or 3 years longer than I would have done, because I just didn't think I met the stereotype. Crazy, isn't it? And yet it still persists. You know, you go to Hollywood today and say, we're making a movie about an alcoholic. How are they going to portray him? What's he going to look like? Crazy. Jatu Finn, hi from sunnyish Finland. My apologies, Jatu Finn. I believe Boris Johnson is in your country today. I can only apologize deeply and profoundly for that. Onel, good morning from Connecticut. Welcome, Onel. Good to see you turning up. You're very good. You turn up every week. And Camilla, you also get my apologies as well. I believe Boris Johnson is also in your country today. Hello from Sweden. You helped me quitting. I'm on the path for the first time. I love to quit this time. Never happened before. Thanks. Great. Camilla, enjoy the journey. You know, don't fall for this story that quitting drinking is a miserable, terrible thing that you have to go through. Because when you tell people I'm quitting drinking, you watch the pity party come over their face. They'll be like, oh, really? Oh, what a shame. Oh, how horrible for you. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be a joyous, exciting journey. I know that sounds crazy, but it really can. We've said hello to Hector, haven't we? Aletha, 2 weeks in today and at peace. Hello from Houston. Fantastic. You know, Aletha, the Texans are kind of my adopted team, only because my son is a big Niners fan, and we've only ever been to one game together in the States, and it was the Texans versus the Niners. So I decided to support the Texans, so we'd have a little bit of banter. And so that's my default. Nick is in Taiwan. Hi, Nick. Welcome. I've got Steve W. here down under. As usual, I stay up for this. Hope the dog is on the mend real soon. Were you on that crypto? No, I was, Steve. But thankfully, I sold all of my crypto, all my UST, the one that's crashed about a week ago, because I was thinking it was looking a bit dodgy. But I did not expect what has happened overnight. I'll tell you that. Mick now has 8 bikes. Mick is the only person who's done my course, quit drinking, and not saved any money, because he just keeps buying bikes. That's fine, though. That's fine. Much better to buy bikes than alcohol, right? Brad, do you ever miss being in broadcasting? Seems like a fun job. I'm sure it's very stressful. It was great, Brad, but it's dead now. The radio industry in the UK is pretty much over for the most part. It all comes from one central location now. When I was on the radio, there were 300 local radio stations all around the country, all broadcasting unique content to the community. It doesn't happen anymore. It's been killed by the internet, I think. Jenny, hi from NC. What is NC? Norfolk County? You always make so much sense. Thanks for sharing. 12 days sober. Fantastic, Jenny. You're nearly out of the kick. Okay, so don't forget, after 2 weeks, after 14, 15 days, the drug loses its power to physically kick you. You're in a much better place. So do not stumble in the next couple of days because you've come so far. Stephen Hall, listening to you from a cruise ship vacation, Mr. Swanky Pants. Alcohol-free, feeling great watching all the drunk people. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny up until a point, and then it becomes a bit boring, especially if you're trapped with them. 90 days. Congratulations, Stephen. Really well done. Johnny Cola, don't use alcohol for any reason. Just let however you're feeling come out. Exactly. Stormy. Stormy else. I'm having trouble dating and not drinking. I'm so quiet, sober. Okay. It's a great point, but alcohol doesn't have a positive impact on dating as much as it feels like it does, because alcohol doesn't really make you funnier or more interesting. It just makes you a little bit stupider. It makes you more stupid and less aware of risk. And so you say things that you probably wouldn't have said if you hadn't had a drink. You do things that you wouldn't, and you just come across as a bit less IQ than if you'd been sober. And especially, and you run the risk of, allowing alcohol to run away with you, and you're drinking because you're nervous and you drink too much. And Stormy, can I tell you what a guy thinks when he's on a date with a drunk woman? And I know this is really awful and blunt, but here's the truth. When a guy's on a date with a drunk woman, if he's not drunk, if he's sober and he's a man of value, he will look at a drunk woman and he'll say, yeah, she's not partner material. She's not girlfriend material, but she's quite attractive. I might try and have sex with her. That's the bluntness of it. They don't see you as valuable. They just see you as potential sex. That's unfortunately the male brain a lot of the times. So alcohol really doesn't add that much, doesn't make you more valuable as a woman or as a man, because men tend to be very unaware of the situation when they drink. Men become very boring. They talk and they talk and they talk, and they think they're having a great date because they're talking a lot. And they're telling stories and talking and talking. They think they're coming across as a great personality. And actually, they're just boring the woman to death. They're not asking anything about her. They're not interested in her. They just want to talk and tell their stupid stories. So alcohol doesn't add anything to dating. It just detracts from it. And I wouldn't worry about it too much. Look, you're going to find a guy who likes you so much that he's going to take all of the difficulty away. He's going to like you so much that he's going to make the date as easy as possible for you. Yeah? Just don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Alcohol's not a benefit to dating. It's and try and date people who don't have drinking problems is my second bit of advice. Stating that you're sober in your dating profile will filter out a lot of the people who have a problem. They won't want to date you. And that's a good thing. You don't want to get into a relationship with someone who's got a drinking problem. It's not good. It's not good. Steve W. Can you give us a bit of the Beck radio voice? It's this, Steve. I wasn't like one of those cheesy 1970s DJs like, hey, okay. It was just this voice. Sorry to disappoint. Mick will understand this, Steve. I'm from the same part of the world that Mick is, which is up in the northeast of England, where we talk with a very strong accent. We say, if I spoke in the accent of where I come from, you wouldn't understand half of what I'm saying. It's a very strong Geordie accent. And Mick will confirm this. I don't have any hint of that because I was on the radio for 20 years. Evening from Bendigo, Australia. Don't they have the best town names in Australia? 4 months sober. Had a birthday last week. No grog. Good stuff. Fantastic. Tony James. Hi, Craig. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for helping me. Your course has turned my life around. I love that. Thank you for posting that, Tony. That makes a big difference. Halali. 24 days sober. This is my longest. I hear everyone talking about relapse, and I'm worried it will happen to me sooner or later. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Try not to dwell on it, because you'll create a self-fulfilling prophecy. There is a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, and it is designed it's a filter, basically. It's designed to bring to you what you focus on. And it's working now, right? Your reticular activating system is focused on this YouTube or wherever you're watching it, okay? Because there are a million other things that are currently in your peripheral vision that could distract you. There are birds singing. There is sunlight coming through the window. There is TV in a different room. The dogs are barking. The cat is meowing. There are so many things going on that you're not aware of it. For example, if I say to you now, whatever you do, don't think about your left foot. Don't feel a tingling sensation in your left foot. Now, until I said that, you probably weren't even aware of your left foot. It was just, now you are. Now you're thinking about your left foot. Why? Because your reticular activating system was blocking out everything else apart from what it thought you wanted to happen. I mean, that was this video, yeah? So if you spend all your time thinking, oh, God, I hope I don't relapse, you're constantly bringing that possibility into your field of view. live each day in gratitude for sobriety. That's what I always say. Sober is a part of your daily life. Quitting drinking is something you did 24 days ago. Very soon, it'll be months ago. Very soon, quitting drinking will be something that happened so far in the past that you can't even remember it. It wasn't even a big deal. You can't even remember how horrible alcohol made you feel. So all that stuff's going to fade. So that's why it's so important that you remain in the moment in a constant rolling state of loving sobriety. I love being sober. So good. Yeah. Michael Ward, I drink 2 pints of orange juice 3 times a week, and I'm on day 30. Are you on day 30 from quitting alcohol or quitting orange juice? I'm not sure. Vaughn, hello from Finland. Hello, back to you. Donna's in Florida. Hello. Steve says you drink 10 pints of orange juice to get you 10 pints of vitamin C, obviously. Fair enough. Good point. Let's what have we got here? Thank you for the hard truth. You're welcome. Tony, if you're not seeing some of the comments that I'm mentioning, it's because you're watching on Facebook. Other people are watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. So I believe you only see comments that come from your own platform. So you're only seeing the Facebook comments, basically. I think I'm missing a fair few people here. My screen jumped. Aletha says, Stephen, alcohol-free cruises are the best. Leaving for a cruise Sunday if PCR is negative. Kristen, 22 days. Superstar, well done. Let's have a look. I'm definitely missing a lot of people here. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. Mick, quite a few on the forum have mentioned skin itching after stopping. I've never had it, but it seems common. Any ideas? Yeah, I never had it either. But it kind of sounds like a symptom that you would feel in detox. You know, when you're ridding your toxin, that's exactly the sort of thing you would feel. It's probably a good thing, Mick. I'm not an expert in that, and like I said, I've never had it myself. But you know, I think people have some unrealistic expectations sometimes. They think, well, I've quit drinking. Why don't I feel better? Well, you know, your body has been conditioned over decades to live with poison in your system. You can't expect to stop and then your body to go, yay, I'm free, back to normal. There has to be this readjustment period, and it's different for everyone. Some people it's 1 month, some people it's 6 months, and it varies. I think the best thing to do is, you know, go and see your doctor, get a full medical, ask the doctor about any symptoms you have. Don't assume that the symptoms are there because you stopped drinking. It could be they were there all along. It's just that alcohol was covering them up. So go and see your doctor, get a thorough medical, answer all the questions, and know in your heart that you can only get better from not drinking poison on a daily basis. That's the only logical conclusion of your actions, isn't it? You can't get worse when you stop drinking poison in the long run. So it's just seeing it for what it is. It's not a reason to go back to alcohol. John, I've been speaking to quite a lot of people on my pages that are struggling to have a break from alcohol because they go watch their team play football every weekend and they can't possibly think of going to a game without drinking all day and night. And they don't want to stop watching their team, so they're stuck. I suspect there's many people across the UK in that situation. Yeah, but they're stuck by a false cage. It's not you know, they're making a statement there as though it's fact when it's not, that you can't watch football without alcohol. Well, you can, and lots of people do. It just sounds like a very weak excuse. It's the same excuse I used to tell my wife. You know, I have to have a drink because I can't get to sleep without alcohol. And I've got work tomorrow, so I need to have a drink. If you expect me to go to work, I need to have a drink. It's just one of those bullshit excuses, isn't it? If you had the stress I have in my life, you'd drink. It's just an excuse that seems really valid to the person who's stating it. Because when I used to tell my wife, I won't be able to get to sleep unless I drink alcohol, I meant it. There was not even 1% of me that doubted what I was saying. I believed that nonsense. So, and these people believe this, when they say, oh, well, I can't stop supporting my team, therefore I can't stop drinking. For them, that's okay, that's that done. There's no point debating it because I know that's true. And it's not true. They've got to take this issue in their life and deal with it seriously. For me, this is a binary problem. You either drink or you don't. Once you cross that line in the sand where you move from being a normal social drinker who can really take it or leave it, and you become a problem drinker where you're using alcohol to escape reality. Once you cross that line, there is no going back. There is no moderating your drinking. There is no cutting back or having a month off. It's all pointless. You're just wasting time. It's a binary condition after you cross that line. And it's a 1 or a 0. You either drink or you don't. And you'll spend a decade or more, even you'll spend the rest of your life, if you want, trying to argue that it's still possible. Oh, I think I'll just cut back a little bit. Yeah, if you want. But it's just bullshit. You'll just drink more when you start again. So it's kind of hard getting through to your friends about stuff like that because they don't want to hear it. And B, they have to discover it on their own, really. Kellyanne. Hi, Craig. Kelly here in Salt Lake City. Thank you so much for all you do. I'm 4.5 years sober. Wow. Awesome. Tell me, Kellyanne, when did you really start to notice the benefits? How long after you quit drinking did you think, wow, I can't believe I've been missing out on this? I'd love to know that from you. Listening to you gives me strength to spread the word of evils of alcohol. It's good to have you as a disciple, Kelly. Thank you. Michael, I'm at 4 days and I feel the cravings coming. What to do? Yeah, because you're in what's called the kick, Michael. Alcohol has the power for the first 2 weeks to cause you physical pain. I don't mean agony. I mean, how do you know when alcohol's causing you pain? It will feel like an anxious feeling, like you're on edge, like a jittery, and you will vocalize it as, oh, God, I could do with a drink. Yeah? If you feel like that, understand it for what it is. It is not what you're saying to yourself. You're not saying, oh, I'm so stressed, or, oh, I need to relax. It's none of that. It's just the drug hitting you with a stick really hard. And he's going to keep hitting you for a couple of weeks while he has the strength until you capitulate. And when you take that first drink of alcohol, he's going to stop hitting you. And you're going to think, oh, life feels so much better. And you're going to think, oh, this is great stuff. I love this stuff. Made me feel better. Didn't make you feel better. It just stopped hitting you. There's a difference. Not the same thing. Michael, attend the webinar. Go to stopdrinkingexpert.com, sign up for the webinar, and commit to the course. Stoked on sobriety. Hello from San Diego. Ryan, over 2 years sober. Excellent job, Ryan. Yeah, Ricky says alcohol has patience. It waits for you. Yeah, because it only has one goal, to kill you. And that's all it wants to do, kill you. And it'll wait as long as you need it to, or it needs you to. Aletha, I love these chats, so helpful. Thank you, Aletha. Elaine, great to be here. Still struggling a little, but I'll get there one day soon, I hope. Just keep trying, Elaine. Never stop. Never give in. Try different things. If my course doesn't work for you, try the next course. Go to AA. Go to your doctor. Go and do a medically supervised detox. Just keep twisting and turning. Passion and persistence. That's the secret to success. Steve W. Okay, who's got a good joke while Craig's on the phone? Did I miss any good jokes? Kobe Cat, good morning from Texas. My wife can drink in moderation and some others. She can have maybe 6 drinks a year. I have to stick to my non-alcohol beer. Alcohol-free home, though. Good place to be. Exactly the same as my situation, Kobe. My wife drinks probably about the same, between 4 and 6 alcoholic drinks per year. Never has a craving for one. Will occasionally just, I think I'll have a beer. I used to live in an inflatable house, but it got a hole in it. Now I live in a flat. I'm never, ever taking a phone call again during a live stream. Let's have a look. Sean saying hi from Toronto. I'm currently bedside with my father in palliative care. As sad and awful as this situation is, I'm so grateful that I'm able to be 100% for my father and family. I hate to imagine how different this awful situation will be with alcohol in the mix. Thanks again, Craig. Wow, that's tough, Sean. I'm sorry you're going through that, but you are right. And you know what? Alcohol makes you make decisions that you deeply regret later. Alcohol will make, I know for a lot of people who have missed the opportunity to be with a dying loved one because they chose to drink instead. They were like, I'll see him tomorrow. I'll definitely go tomorrow. And then they die in the meantime, and they're left with huge guilt and regret for the rest of their lives. Alcohol does nothing but steal everything that's important to you. El Ali, I've noticed that since I'm sober, people treat me better. Of course, because life is a mirror. You get back what you get back in your life is a reflection of who you are, I think. And I think you can see that in every aspect of your life. The relationships you get into are generally a reflection of how you feel about yourself. This is how you can see that people who are in abusive relationships eventually get out of it and go straight back into another abusive relationship with somebody else, because it's just a reflection of who they believe they are and how much love they have for themselves. And if you are poisoning yourself on a daily basis, it says that you don't have a lot of love for yourself. And you'll see that reflected in the attitudes and behaviors of other people. You'll be routinely, overlooked for promotions and opportunities. It's just a weird way the world works. So when you start loving yourself a bit more, you start seeing other people treating you better. Weird, huh? Kristen, still thinking of drinking. Why? How many days you sober again, Kristen? It was a big part of your life. It kind of depends where you are in the journey. Have you done the course, Kristen? That would be a good step. Attend the webinar. Let's have a look. Mark, howdy from Tulsa County, day 24 without alcohol. Slowly but surely getting better, filling some voids by learning Russian and the harmonica. Thanks. Panimayo Pramuski, is it? Hey, Craig, listening to you while braising a whole rabbit for rabbit ragu. Bought it from a farm shop earlier today. Wow, okay. I'm not sure I could eat rabbit. I'm a bit funny about things like that. Although when I was about 5 years old, my grandfather bought me a rabbit, apparently. But my mum told him I wasn't allowed to have it as a pet. So he took it home and ate it. Nice, huh? Let's have a look. Chris Ball. Hi, Craig. 17 months sober. After mentioning films about drinkers, have you seen Leaving Las Vegas? Nicolas Cage played a part about a guy who wanted to drink himself to death. I think I have seen it, but many, many years ago. And I'm pretty, this is going to be ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure I was drinking at the time and I can't remember it. I think it's a pretty depressing film, isn't it? Grace literally doesn't have one real sober friend and co-worker offline. Major trigger, relapse. Hanging out with them, I feel very lonely, keep having to turn down social engagements. I understand that, Grace. It's true that life has to change a little bit. It doesn't mean you have to turn down social engagements, but you should still go to them, just because the only reason you would turn them down is because you doubt yourself. is because you think, I still want alcohol. I'm still tempted to drink alcohol. And if that's the case, then perhaps you're doing this using willpower. And we know that willpower doesn't work. It's got a 95% chance of failure. If you're trying to white knuckle this out and avoid alcohol, you're making life harder for yourself than it needs to be. The secret is to completely rewire your brain so you look at alcohol and you feel contempt for it. In the same way that you feel contempt for other things like heroin and cocaine and other drugs and glue sniffing. You know, if all your friends were going out every Friday night and sniffing glue, you'd probably feel pretty secure going out with them and not being tempted, wouldn't you? You'd be like, no, thanks. I'll just stick with my Coca-Cola, I should say. But if you're worried about going out with them because you're thinking, I'm going to be tempted, I'm going to drink, all that says to me is your programming is still wrong. And you need to do some work on that. But that's a good thing. You should look at that as a positive, because that means that you don't have to spend the rest of your life like this, you know, feeling lonely and turning down social invitations. Just means that you need to fix this first. Get busy on that, and then you'll be able to go anywhere you want. However, heads up, you probably won't want to go as often. These drunken nights out will become a little bit boring. You might go, but you won't stay as long. Your days of 4 a.m. morning returning home are probably gone. Sober people don't tend to do that. You're tucked up in bed by 11. And that's a good thing, if you ask me. But then I am nearly 48. Todd, the Niners have 5 Super Bowl championships. How many do the Texans have? 0. That's how many. Yeah, but they're still my team, Todd. I'm still a Texans. You know, if I had to choose, I would support Texans, and I don't know why. But I remember going to a Texans game with my son, and they were playing the Niners, and I sat there in my Texans top, and my son was next to me in his 49ers top. And I remember this guy in the row behind me tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "Is that your boy?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You didn't bring that boy up right." I loved it. Vaughn, you are well informed. Boris Johnson is coming to Finland today. How terrible for you. CT, my triggers are 3 things: the weekends, upcoming events, and simply having friends that like to drink. What's the best way to deal with this? Well, I'll kind of refer you to my earlier point on that one. Some things have to change, though, CT. You know, you can't expect to remove an addiction from your life and expect nothing else to be touched around it, nothing else to change. Your life will change, but and initially it will feel like it's changed for the worse, because no, we don't like change. You know, there will be chaos in your life because your routines are all disrupted, and who you believe you are and what you do for fun have all changed and feel a bit awkward. But it will become normal. But like I say, if your routine is set in stone that Friday nights are spent in the bar getting drunk and playing pool with your buddies, you can't really expect that to stay if you want to make this easy for yourself. You got to have to do something different. But you got to ask yourself, who is being sacrificed so you could do this activity? Who could you be spending your time with? Who is more deserving of your time, love, and attention than the boys in the bar playing pool? You know, there may be kids, there may be your wife who's been, not getting your attention because of alcohol. There are better places for your time and energy. But remember the saying, you know, if you don't want a haircut, don't hang around the barber shop. Because if you do, eventually you'll get a haircut. Raheem. Hey, Craig. Raheem here from Cardiff, Wales. What do you think of affirmations? I keep saying, my name is Raheem and I no longer drink, whenever I feel the urge, and it works. If it works, then I love it. I have done them in the past. I can't say if they worked for me, then I would have carried on doing them. I think for some people it helps. If you're a visual, not a visual, an auditory person, that you need to hear this sort of stuff. If you're a kinesthetic person who defaults to feeling things rather than having to hear them or see them, then maybe you don't need affirmations, because once you get that feeling, once you get that sense of who you are, and where you're going and what your goals are, then maybe that's all you need. For visual people, maybe affirmations don't work. They need a vision board, they need pictures. But if it's working for you, then carry on. Why not, eh? Ben, any tips on the regret? Regret's a tough one. I still regret lots of things that I did. And I don't really have any great solution to give you. I just have to shake myself out of it, catch yourself in the act, and stop the cycle. Because if you get into that negative loop of thinking about things you did wrong, you just go down a rabbit hole and you'll spiral downwards. The secret is when catch yourself doing it and force yourself to think about something else. Otherwise, it just goes on forever. So as quick as you can stop it, stop it. You may have to do it quite often, but it does seem to help. Just stop it as soon as you can. You can't fix anything. It's done, and mistakes of the past are your big lessons. That's how you learn to be a better person. So regret's not that valuable, really. Doesn't really serve any purpose. Trish, heard a funny analogy one day about the strength of alcohol's being there waiting. The speaker said, it's always in the parking lot doing push-ups. Yeah, always ready. Tony J, I went to Add Action once, left after 45 minutes. I couldn't handle the oh, woe is me attitude of the other people there. I discovered Craig and not looked back. Yeah, the pity party for me serves no purpose at all. This is why people get very upset in the Facebook group, the members Facebook group, that I don't allow people to have day one again posts. I tell people, do not come on here crying about why you drank last night, because you will be distracted by the pity party. You will find lots of people saying lovely things like, oh, bless you. Oh, never mind. Oh, how terrible for you. Do you know what? Do you know how much other people's sympathy is worth? Nothing. Zero. Because it provides nothing. Doesn't get you anything at all. Quietly dust yourself down and get on with it. And I know that's black and white, but that's just who I am as a person. This is why I don't like, group meetings like AA and things like that, because you go in there and it's just bloody miserable. People talking about how terrible their lives are and how awful alcohol is and what it's done and what it's destroyed and how, enough. Desert D, just bit my tongue. Just past my 11-month anniversary. Feels so good, so free, more headspace, etc. With all the strife going on and uncertainty in the world, being sober gives me an edge. You're too right, it does. You can, you have so much more creativity in your responses to life when you're sober. Who else we got here? Physical exercise, will it reduce the willingness towards alcohol? Exercise is great. Yeah, and it's a great distraction in the first couple of weeks as well. If you can stop drinking and take up exercise, it'll accelerate your journey, no doubt. And it's great for your mental health as well. Craig, can you tell us about the Sobriety documentary you were in? I don't know that I was. I don't. You tell me. Maybe they've mentioned me and I don't know anything about it. Aletha, Craig, in all my time stopping drinking, longest was over 6 years. Never until I found your books and videos did I feel empowered as I do now. Your brilliant take on changing the way we perceive alcohol. Thank you, Alita. That means a lot. Thank you. And congratulations. Lauren, I'm always looking for the perfect time to have a drink. Yeah, you're still in the loop, Lauren. And your final statement there, that's going to continue forever. It's just going to make you more and more miserable. So make today the day you pull the trigger. Trust me on this, Lauren. I've been doing this for 12 years. I drank for a lot longer than that. And for the whole period that I was drinking, I couldn't imagine a life without alcohol. I thought it would be terrible. I thought it would be awful, boring. Trust me when I tell you everything about life is better when you stop drinking the attractively packaged poison. Make today the day you pull the trigger. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, book your place on the webinar. Sloth Ape, I think a lot of problem drinking have undiagnosed mental issue and are looking for relief. For me, it was ADHD. Getting closure on this was important and liberating. Yeah, exactly. Most people are drinking to cover up something else. And this is why the medical profession often falls down, is because you go to the doctor saying, I've got a drinking problem. And the doctor says, okay, let's deal with your drinking problem. Well, the drinking problem is just a symptom of the big problem underneath it, but nobody ever goes that deep. So the secret here to lifelong sobriety is to not only stop drinking, but to also deal with the reason why you were drinking in the first place. Juan Fox, what do you think about the Sinclair method to treat alcohol addiction? Look, I think if you've tried everything else, then why not try it? It didn't work for me. People get very, very passionate about it. And if you say anything negative about the Sinclair method, you will get a lot of trolls and a lot of hate because people get very, very angry if you criticize it. If you don't know what it is, the Sinclair method is basically using prescription medication, an opioid blocker like Campral or naltrexone, you continue to drink while you're taking the medication, but the medication removes all of the euphoria from the drug. So all you get is the negative sides of drinking and none of the positives. And in theory, over time, you just become bored with drinking, because why would you continue drinking something that gave you no positives and only negatives? And eventually you just go, I don't want this anymore, and you leave it behind. That's the theory. It's called extinction theory. A lot of people swear by it. I don't think the success rates are that impressive. I would try other things first. Doesn't necessarily need to be my course. I'm not saying, do my course first. But before you turn to prescription medication, I think there are other things that are on the list to try. Because taking a drug to fix a drug problem kind of feels backwards to me. So, yeah, look, if you've tried everything else, Juan, give it a go. But it didn't work for me. Because I didn't like the side effects of the drug. The side effects of naltrexone made me feel absolutely awful, worse than a hangover. So forcing myself to take a tablet every day that made me feel absolutely dreadful was just horrendous. Mick, Spaddy's dummy out of the day one post. I saw you, Mick. I saw you. El Ali, sober but eating like a cow, pancakes every morning, cups of tea with 4 sugar. Yeah, because you're used to having liquid fuel in your blood. Your body is used to having all this liquid fuel. It's got lazy. It doesn't have to convert fat to glycogen anymore or anything like that. It's just got all this liquid gasoline in your blood. All of a sudden it's gone. Your body's like, what? Famine. It'll fade, El Ali, it'll fade. Give it time. Okay, who are we going to give the last comment to? Ali Lane, I find I get excited and then start to have a drink. When I exercise, I get so high, it's hard to control. I wish I had that problem. I hate the gym. I just find it so boring. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up there. Thank you very much, guys. I hope that was helpful. Sorry I had to leave you for a couple of seconds in there just to take a call from the vet. The dog will go in for an operation tomorrow. I'll let you know how he gets on. Thanks a lot for watching. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks a lot. See you soon.